Hi everybody, I'm Dawn.
And I'm Tammy, and we're Garside Girls Gabfest.
I hope everybody had a nice day and we're having a nice night. Been looking forward to coming down here and sitting with my sister and having a conversation with her to just vent and unwind and just have our little therapy session, as we like to call this.
I was looking forward to talking to you because I called you today and you were busy and I couldn't tell you. But I could not stop laughing about this all day, and God's going to punish me.
What?
I hope I'm not being mean. But there's a person that I work with, and it got me to thinking about liars. And I said to myself, there's different levels of liars. There's the liars that you're entertained by, and then there's the liars that lying, it's a problem. This guy is the one that you're entertained by. So basically, I don't know if I told you about it. I don't even think I did because there was no reason to.
So.
Maybe like a month and a half ago, this new person started working in our building. So I don't deal with him like side by side. It's just in passing. So I was introduced to him. I say good morning, like just exchange pleasantries, like good morning, good afternoon. So this went on for, I don't know, like a couple of weeks, just hello, goodbye. So I want to say like the middle of last week, I said, oh, hi, how are you doing today? And he said, oh, my shoulder hurts. And I said, oh, that stinks. I hope it's not your labrum. My son, he tore his labrum wrestling. Well, that was all I had to say. It like opened up the floodgates, and he starts up. He's like, oh, really? I was a 2-time state champion. So I said, oh my gosh, really? The kid, my curiosity piqued. I had no reason to think he was lying. So I was like, oh, really? What year? So I said, what years? So he says 1 year, and I said, and then what other year? And he said, no, I was a 2-time state champion twice in 1 year. How so? So I looked at him and I said, how is that? And he said, well, I got special permission to wrestle in 2 weight classes. Now I knew he was bullshitting.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, for all those wrestlers and coaches out there, you could
We all know that
weigh
that
in,
can't
but I
happen.
don't think that that's a possibility.
No. So I was like, he's totally lying, but I can't call him out on it right now. So I wanted to hear some more. So I was like, oh, really? How'd you do that? And he's like, well, I got special permission because the kid that wrestled at a weight class ahead of me, he got hurt. So I got to wrestle in his weight class too.
So he was wrestling his weight class and he was
Correct.
wrestling up. And he took first place in both.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So I was
That's
like,
impressive.
wow. So then he went on to say not only was he a 2-time state champion in wrestling in the same year, he also got a scholarship for wrestling, a scholarship for soccer, and a scholarship for academics. So I was like, wow. I'm like, you're a busy beaver. But okay, whatever. So now he goes from saying that to saying that he decided to just do soccer in college, but he only did it for 1 semester because his true love was going into the Army. I'm like, oh, wow. So he enlisted in the Army, he said, and then he said he went and fought in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia. I said, wow, what did you do in Somalia? And he said, can't talk about that, it's classified. I swear to God he said that. So I was like, this guy's bullshitting, I just know it, right? And he's like in his, I want to say maybe like late 20s. I'm thinking he was too young to even do all this, but whatever. So that was the one, like, so now I call up my work bestie upstairs and I said to her, that new kid, I said, I think he's a little bit of a balloon teller. So she said, wait, he told me today that he could have played for the Yankees. So I'm like, what?
So he did all these things, all these sports. He was
Correct.
a true academic. He could have played for the Yankees.
Yeah, but he never said anything about playing baseball.
He served in our armed forces.
Yes.
He served
But he
in our
never said
armed
anything
forces.
about playing baseball. So he never even told me about the baseball part. He told her about the
It's like
baseball
a regular
part.
Forrest Gump.
Where
did he find the time for all this?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, where did he find, like, so her and I both start laughing. So now the next day, he starts up again with it, and I'm just like, oh my God, is it mean of me that I engage him just because I want to hear what he's going to say? I'm like,
It'd be mean if you called him out on his bullshit and you were rude to him and were like, listen, I don't believe
you know what I
full
said?
of
I
shit.
said, thank you for
But
your
you don't
service.
need to.
I said to him.
Yeah.
I said, thank you for your service. And he was just like, and he prepped, he pepped up. He was all excited, like, oh, she believes me. I got her on the hook. Like, I think he believed.
Yeah, I totally don't think it's mean for you to engage him and to want to hear his stories because it's entertaining.
It was so entertaining.
Listen, especially if he's not hurting anyone.
No. So this was on, I want to say, like a Tuesday or Wednesday. On Friday, I said to him, just because I wanted to see what he was going to say, I said, so, what are you doing? What are your plans for the weekend? And he said, got to help my buddy move, and then, I think I'm going to go up to my farm. I have a farm in Pennsylvania. I was like, oh, he goes, well, I used to be in the rodeo. What the frig? So I was like...
Was he on Yellowstone?
Do I listen to to me. I swear to God. So he goes, I said, wow, that's exciting. He goes, yeah, sometimes it's not too exciting. Like the time I was in a coma for 3 days. I was like, I looked at him, I go, what? He goes, yeah, flipped off a Bronco. Just, he went, flipped off. I was like, really? I go, oh my God.
Short life. He's had a lot happen to him.
This is what I'm saying. There's just no way. Like all this.
Did he get a Medal of Honor or anything while he was in the military? Has he said anything like that?
He just said that he was. Oh, he said he was.
I got a Purple Heart.
Yeah, no. When I said to him when he said can't talk about that, it's classified. I said, well, what was your specialty? Like what were? And he said bombs. I was a bomb sniffer. He goes sort of like a bomb sniffer. I go, oh, he's taking the dog's jobs. Like what's he talking about? Like the way he said it, he goes, I was like a bomb sniffer. He goes, it was hard. Guns, bullets whipping over my head, and I was just like the way he tells it so animated, and like the lie just rolls, like he doesn't even miss a beat, and I'm like, he's lying so well right now. I was like, oh my God.
Listen, that's not an easy feat to be able to just let it slide off your tongue and really just come back quickly, especially when somebody's questioning you, to be able to come back with quick answers.
I couldn't wait to tell you.
That's a talent.
I could not. I'm like, I have to call her and tell her about this kid, because at first I was like, maybe he's not. And then I'm like, no, the lies just keep coming. There's no way he's telling the truth. I want to
meet him. I have to meet him.
The lies, I'll be so excited to tell, like, he'll be like, I got a new person that I can tell stories.
I would love to hear his stories.
Insane.
Listen, if he's not hurting anyone, then I don't think it's an issue at all. I mean, there's different levels of liars as far as I'm concerned.
Definitely lying.
We grew up with people that, were pathological liars. Or
we all know them. Everybody knows them. But, as long as it, like, to your point, as long as it's not hurting anyone, I'm like, I'm not going to say a word.
People lie for different reasons. A lot of times it's insecurity and they want to impress people, or sometimes it could be that they had some type of trauma in their life and that's their way of covering up the trauma. But then there are people that are just malicious people that lie just to be able to be shady and want to start a problem for people. So I definitely think there's different variations of liars.
I agree. And I think that he's the one that, like, probably something happened to him, only because he, like, alluded to the fact. He, like, said a few things, like, about his parents growing up, and, like, said a few things, like, they were split up, and then they were whatever. So I feel like maybe he lies because he's not happy with the way his life was, so he creates his own fairy tale.
Maybe if
so am I a person then?
No, but if maybe that fantasy world that he's created for himself makes him feel better, God bless. Whatever works for him. As long as you're not hurting anyone.
No, when I said, oh my God, your mother must have been so upset and scared when you were in a coma, and he said, she didn't know. I'm like, what the fuck? How didn't you? He said, my father and I didn't tell her. And then I said,
well, he couldn't tell anybody. He was in a coma. He didn't tell her after the fact.
So he said, I said, wasn't she wondering where you were? And he goes, I think my dad told her I was with some of my rodeo friends. You were in the rodeo, you were in the army, you could have played for I was like, holy crap. And when you think she's got you on the hook, oh, forget it. He starts rattling off stuff. It's so entertaining.
I want to meet him. I'm going to come have lunch with you one day.
He makes my day go quicker. He entertains me.
I'm sure he does.
So funny. So freaking funny. I can't even.
My day today entailed just yet another customer that was trying to get something for nothing. So I wear a couple of hats. I have a few different jobs. And while I have a full-time job working for a medical publications company, which is extremely demanding and stressful and takes up a lot of my time, my husband and I also started a water heater and plumbing business a couple of years back, and so I helped to run that as well. But my latest frustration, and it isn't new, I mean, it's been going on for the past couple of years that we've been running this business, but I feel like it's getting worse, where people want top of the line customer service. They want top quality products. They want, to make sure that they're getting the best of the best, but they don't want to pay for it.
They want like a VIP experience on a nickel budget.
100%. That's been my biggest frustration, where, people will nickel and dime you. And I know, because I know competitors' prices, I've done my research, I know that we're the most cost effective around. When it comes to pricing, we're priced to sell. And I don't want to say we're the cheapest, because to me that makes it sound like we don't do a good job or we're cheap. We're the most cost effective. We are definitely one of the best prices you're going to get out there. So when people are sitting there nickel and diming me, when I know
it's insulting.
It is insulting, especially when I know that myself and everybody that works for us, which the majority are family, we all put our heart and soul into everything that we do. And the prices of everything have gone up, especially since COVID. But
everything.
Water heater prices.
My charcuterie boards, I know.
Water heater prices, I think in the past year, they've gone up 13%. Gas prices, when my guys are traveling in the vans, the gas prices have gone up. Insurance has gone up. The leads that we pay for to get the jobs have gone up. Everything is just so expensive, and people don't seem to understand that. Like, we charge a service charge to go out and to just assess the situation. Like over the phone, you can't assess it.
Mm-hmm.
If I had my guys driving around giving free estimates all day long, we wouldn't make any money. So
and you have to pay your guys to go out. So why wouldn't you have to
100%
pay for service?
So we tell everyone on the phone, if we come out to assess the situation to see what's happening, I have to charge you a minimum of $149 service charge.
Yeah.
And usually we'll apply that if you need more work or something needs to be replaced. We'll apply that $149 towards the additional work that needs to be done.
Which
we're not
reasonable.
we're not going to double bill you. So recently we had a woman, she lived about 45 minutes from here. Her water heater wasn't turning on. She didn't know what the issue was. I told her it would be $149 for my guys to go out and assess the situation. So apparently the pilot light was out, which anybody that knows how, anything about water heaters or anything like that, it's pretty easy to turn back on a pilot light. It only takes a few minutes.
How to do it, but
I'm afraid of things like that, so I don't like to do it. My husband said you could just stick your eye in there in the hole and see if the flame is on.
Daddy singed his eyelashes off when we were kids.
I do. But so my guys were only at the woman's house for maybe 10 minutes, but it took them 45 minutes to get down there. It was going to be a 45-minute ride back. They got the pilot lit. They got the water heater working. And then she didn't want to pay the $149. So I got on the phone with her and I said, you agreed to pay it. And she said, well, they were only here 10 minutes. I said, it doesn't matter. They drove 45 minutes to get there. And
That's
she
ridiculous.
was arguing with me. She said, I'm not paying it. So I told my guys, we'll blow out the pilot light. And she started flipping out.
I don't blame you.
And she started, my brother works for us. He was one of the installers and he was one of the technicians that went out that day. And he said she, like a little kid, started jumping up and down and screaming and yelling, you better turn it back on. I said, either you're going to pay the $149 or they're not. She wouldn't pay it, so I had my guys leave. I don't think that that's wrong.
No, I don't think that that's wrong either. You provided a service. Obviously, she didn't know what was wrong, whether it be a small problem or a big problem. She couldn't fix it on her own, so, oh well.
Yeah, people are crazy these days. Honestly, it's just, the more you deal with the public, the more you see, there's definitely days that are rewarding where there are people that are so appreciative and say, oh my God, your prices are so reasonable. I have town inspectors, that are going out to inspect installations and they'll say, that's all you charge? I know our prices are so reasonable. That's why it's, to your point, insulting is the best word. It's just that much more insulting. I tell people all the time, when you do a job, you want to get paid for your job, right? Like,
you don't work for free, so why should I? Daddy would always say to us, treat people the way you want to be treated.
It's 100% true.
That's
from when we were little, he always said that, and that always stuck with me. Yeah, I genuinely try my best to treat people the way that I want to be treated.
He treated people a little crazy sometimes, but he had a heart of gold.
He definitely did. He was one of the biggest ball busters. Anybody that knows him will tell you that. What I was just thinking about the times that he used to the panhandlers. He made friends with like a lot of the panhandlers, especially down in the Newark area.
Carter Highway, I remember.
First Street and Sussex Avenue when he come off 280.
Panhandlers.
And they would be and so he would get them before they would get him. Like as he saw them approaching the window and he'd roll down the window, before they could speak, he'd say, got $1? And then they were so taken aback that somebody else was asking them for money. There were quite a few times where they gave him $1.
Yeah.
And so then he had this agreement with them where he'd say, all right, we'll take chance apiece.
Well, only the guy by McCarter Highway. That was
there was another one that he had it with. And it was a lady. There was a lady.
Oh, the lady and him used to fight.
The lady and him used to fight, though. But he would say to them, didn't I give it to you last time? And they would say, no, it was your turn last time.
But he would make them take the money out of their cup and give it to them.
And he would take it, and he would drive away with it.
He would make them take it out of the cup and give it to him, and he would say, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You have a good day now. Like, he was right. He would take the money, and then there were times when he would give them the money.
But whoever was in the car room, my mother would laugh.
Die. Oh, my God, we would die.
The stories are just endless.
Endless. Oh, my God.
He used to be out there in the public. He was definitely one of the people that was giving it back a little bit.
For sure. Well, I'm glad that we got to talk a little bit.
Yeah. As always, it feels very therapeutic to just be able to talk and unwind at the end of the day. We hope, again, that everybody else had a great day and you like hearing some of our stories. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your opinions on some of the things we talked about.
Let us know what you think, and don't let anyone steal your peace.
And remember, mind your own business and stay in your own lane. Have a good night.